Since that time, we've had an extensive search. Investigators and volunteers have, man, you guys have been awesome searching for Johnathan the last 2 days. I can't brag on volunteers enough and what you've done and what it means to me and what it means to the Sheriff's Department. With that being said, it's with great sadness that I'm here to announce that we have located Johnathan, and Johnathan is deceased. Buck is still with Johnathan. Buck is alive. He was found about 2 miles from the home. Like so many of you across our community, we're devastated, and we're devastated by this news. Johnathan was an adventurous boy, and he loved the outdoors. I ask you to be respectful to the family. This is going to be a very hard time. It's going to be a very hard time for our community. It's going to be a very hard time for the volunteer team that did an outstanding job to find John. This is this is not the outcome that we wanted to see, and we were hopeful for a positive outcome. But again, I can't thank you enough for taking your time and showing this family the support that you've done. It means more to me, and I'm sure that it means a tremendous amount to the family. Again, like I said, just be respectful of the privacy of the family. Obviously I've got to make this update and let everybody know. As far as the media is concerned, I'm not going to take any questions at this time. We've got work that we got to continue to do, and once we get a little further into that work, I will do another update to update everybody where we're at. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so it was a very short 2-minute press conference, which I'm very grateful for, to update everyone. But what a sad outcome. No. So if I show you my presentation, I'm going to show you the dog as well. So Johnathan was only 4 years old. He was reported missing on December 31st of 2025 in Jasper, Alabama, right? And so now, as of January 2nd, this case was updating every hour. The latest update is that they found him deceased, but they found the dog with him alive. Oh, shame. Buck stayed with him the whole time. So about 2 miles from the house is what they said, right? So there's the most recent picture of, his nickname was John. So John, and there's the dog. A black lab retriever mix is what the sheriff said previously. Shame. What a sweet dog. Stayed with him the whole time. Right? So there was the flyer that went out. There's the red flag of a protective order from the dad, where the mom was very worried, because we don't know the circumstances, right, of how he was found, but it is now very possible that he had walked off the property, as his brother told his dad. His 6-year-old brother said that John walked off with Buck across the fence line. That was the last that he'd seen of him. And he told his dad that apparently, and the dad reported John missing. So now we don't know the circumstances of how John passed away or what happened. But yeah, there were some red flags, of course, with the dad and the protective order, and he was only allowed 5 days of visitation rights per year. I mean, damn, I've never really heard of that. 5 days a year? Oh my goodness. Heather Whatever said thank you. Sad. I know, this is so sad. Shame. Thank you so much for your support. So John loves the outdoors, and the sheriff had said in a previous press conference that, it's boys being boys. They're playing outside, and it is rural Alabama. It's in Walker County, so it's Jasper, Walker County, Alabama. I could show you the area, just the general area, in a moment as well. And so the sheriff had previously said in other press conferences, loves the outdoors, and they were playing outside, right? So if I go like this, okay, yeah, the 7,000 block of the the 195, right? That's what they said. So it's around this area that then his brother said he saw him leave the property. Okay? So if anyone's only joining now, this little missing boy has been found deceased, and the dog was found alive with him, still by his side. So this is the area, just the general area. I'm not doxing anyone. I'm not showing anything I'm not supposed to be showing. I'm just showing you how rural it is, you know. So wherever the home was, there's just a lot of wooded area around here. And they said that he was found about 2 miles from the home. And they'd been searching non-stop since he was reported missing on December 31st at around 11:30 a.m., right? Oh, also welcome to everyone from Queen Bee's channel. I see there's a lot of bees, a lot of Queen Bees in chat. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you, Queen Bee, for sending everyone here. So there was a missing persons report filed by the dad between 12:30 and 1 p.m. on December 31st, that day. And the dog, Buck, remains unaccounted for. Last confirmed sighting was on a neighbor's game camera, which was on December 26th, which kind of was very concerning too. Like, wait, did the dog go missing first and then John? But his brother said that he saw them going, over the fence line together. And his brother's only 6 years old. So apparently the brother's also now back with the mother, because on December 31st, when the mother heard, what? Like John's missing, she immediately traveled from Florida to Alabama, and she'd been cooperating with investigators and trying to help out in the search as well. The father was interviewed by the FBI the same day that John was reported missing, and subsequently he was arrested on charges related to explosive materials discovered on his property. Law enforcement stated that the charges are not connected to Johnathan's disappearance, but the complicated search operations. Neighbors reported hearing explosions in the area for several weeks leading up to the incident, including one at approximately 4 a.m. on December 31st of 2025. So I don't know if that'll ever play a role in the outcome of this case, but it's just really sad that this little boy has been found deceased. So during initial search efforts, I'm just showing you some pictures that were shared on social media. Multiple explosive devices were located inside the father's home. Remember, he's former military as well. So I don't know what all he had, but they said scattered across the property as well, including at least 8 potential devices in a wooded area across the street. This led to a temporary halt in civilian and volunteer participation for safety reasons, which was quite shocking to hear. Like, wait, what? You're stopping the search of volunteers because you're worried about all these explosive devices, almost like booby traps all over the property or whatever's going on there. And so the charges were unlawful manufacture of a destructive device and 2 counts of chemical endangerment of a child, which that is all very dangerous to have when you have 2 young boys aged 4 and 6 visiting you for 5 days, and you have a dog, and you have all these explosive devices on your property and in the house. So that's what he was charged with. The FBI later determined that 8 devices across the street were actually non-explosive, and they allowed volunteer searches to resume on today, January 2nd of 2026 at 7 a.m. And unfortunately, they found him deceased today. The presence of these materials was cited as a hindrance to the early stages of the investigation, requiring specialized clearance before full search warrants could even be executed. So the search was coordinated by Walker County Sheriff's Office and the Alabama Law Enforcement Agency, ALEA, and they had all the searches going: ground operations, aerial operations, helicopters, drones, even thermal drones, K9 units. Over 500 acres was searched. The community really pulled together, and it's a small community, right? There were 126 first responders across multiple agencies and 161 volunteers that helped in the search. So that's why the sheriff just said this is going to be really hard on the searchers, because they've been searching so hard, just hoping they can find this little boy alive, and unfortunately he was found deceased. So no thermal detections or other indications of Jonathan's presence in the woods were reported up until now. There's an update today that he was, of course, found deceased, and the dog was found alive. So that is the update. So yeah, no, we don't really have to watch all the previous press conferences and things, because it will not help right now. They were just sharing critical information, numbers to call, and everything we shared so far, right? Okay, so sure. That is such a shocking outcome, you know? It's like the first time I'm talking about the case, and it's like, okay, let's share critical information and hope that this little boy will be found. Check everywhere, ring cams, dash cams, deer cams, everything. And now it's like, oh man, that is so devastating. And I really feel, especially for his little brother and his mother as well. I don't know how the dad's doing. I don't know the circumstances of everything here, but wow, that is such a sad update. So I don't have much more to say beyond that. I really appreciate you being here. We were here in an effort to raise awareness and hopefully that this little boy would be found, right? So yeah, interesting. Justice for All said he's also charged, I have not seen that update, with 2 counts of chemical endangerment of a child because they had the opportunity to be exposed to a substance. I'm not going to say it out loud here on YouTube, but wow. So yes, the dad's in custody on those unrelated charges. They say to Jonathan's disappearance. The FBI has been interviewing him. Whenever I hear FBI is interviewing someone, I think of Special Agent Grusing there in Colorado, who interviewed Letitia Stauch and also Barry Morphew. Actually, speaking of Barry Morphew, Courtroom Confidential has an episode coming out in the next 90 minutes if you're watching live with me on Suzanne Morphew's case, and I was a special guest on that episode, so if you want to check it out, it's going to be there. All right, everyone. Well, I'll keep you posted if anything, if we updated at all anymore about this case of, what happened and all of that. I'll keep you posted. Also, please monitor the pinned comments because I often update you there. If it's just something where they say, just like a one-liner update, I will update you there. And I'll also put timestamps over there. So I really appreciate you all being here, and I'll see you again very soon. Condolences to all the family and friends of John, and I'll see you again soon. Stay safe.